things first. As you can see, I'm just putting on some under eye setting powder. This is going to help catch any fallout because, as you guys can see, I do have a full face of makeup on, just not my eyes done. I do have my brows done, and I will link my updated brow tutorial if you guys want to see it. So now that we have the under eye setting powder that will hopefully catch all of the fallout that we may have, I'm going to start by priming my eyelids. I'm going to use this ColourPop Party Proof Eye Primer in the shade Deep, and I'm just going to place that on my eyelids. I'm just going to blend out primer just with my fingertips. And I love this one because it has a little bit of a deeper hue to it, so it's really nice if you're more tan and you kind of want like a nice deep base. You just want like a base that doesn't look too light, because I find that sometimes it looks a little bit weird if like under my brows like really bright white and then I have like more of like a tan face. I just think it kind of looks weird. So I like to have a little bit of a either translucent primer or just a nice deep one with a little bit of color. I'm just patting that in. So for this look, I'm going to be using two ColourPop palettes. The first one here is called the It's a Mood palette. So this is their 30 pan eyeshadow palette, which I use a lot on my channel. It is just so good. It has like every shade you would need. So I'm going to first go into the warm brown shade here in the palette called Creme. It's kind of like a peachy, not really even a brown. It's just like a warm matte peachy shade called Creme. And I'm just using a fluffy blending brush here. This is a Hank and Henry brush in the style Dell. So I'm going to be placing that shade pretty high in my crease area because, as you guys will see, I really want that nice peachy shade to really show through on top of the green. I just love the way like warm colors and green go together. I feel like they just go so well together and look beautiful. So I'm just really building up that shade towards the top. You don't have to worry about the lid. It can be quite messy, but I just want to make sure that the top inner corner is nice and pigmented and blended. I'm kind of focusing more towards the inner corner, and the outer corner I'm just kind of diffusing that peachy shade. That is fairly simple, and now we're going to go into the greens. So there are two beautiful green shades in the It's a Mood palette, but they actually don't have the green that I was looking for, which is this brighter shade here. This is from the ColourPop in the Limelight palette here. It's like a very nice little 9-pan palette that is all green inspired. So I absolutely love this green, this matte green shade here called After Party. It is just like the perfect lime green shade. So I'm just gonna place that generously in my like lid and like crease area, just kind of like blending that out. For that, I'm gonna be using this thinner brush. This is a Morphe JH37 blending brush here. It's a little bit like thicker and thinner, which is great for being a little bit more precise. Difficult to use greens, especially like matte greens. So I find that what helps is kind of using like a tapping motion. I'm still trying to blend it into that peachy shade, but I'm also using a tapping motion just to make sure that I get full pigment. That is a very beautiful bright green, and I'm just focusing it towards the inner corner because the outer corner I'm going to deepen up with that other deeper green in the It's a Mood palette. But as you can see, I'm just kind of tapping it but still blending it towards the top, and you can still see all of that beautiful peach blended in with the green. I think it just looks so pretty. So now I'm gonna go in with that deep teal shade here in the It's a Mood palette from ColourPop. This shade here is called Mystified, and I'm gonna take that on a small pencil brush. This one is a Morphe JH38 brush. So I'm just gonna smoke that on at the outer corner and kind of create a V using that deep green shadow. just bringing that beautiful deep green shade on the outer corner and creating a little bit of a V there with that shadow, so it just looks like a very nice smoked out green. And I'm bringing those two colors together to create like an ombre effect. So I'm just using a fluffy little brush here and wiping away any fallout that we may have had. There wasn't too much fallout, but it did help catch anything. And since we did have that under eye setting powder on the under eyes, I want to put some shadow, but I know that it's not going to stick very well because we had all of that powder as a base. So I'm going to use a little bit of that same ColourPop eyeshadow primer, and I'm just going to rub a little bit on the under eye, just literally a swipe, and then I'm going to go into some shadows. And that is a great trick for really keeping the shadows much brighter and just lasting longer and creasing less. Taking that same pencil brush, the Morphe JH38 brush, I'm gonna go back into that peachy shade that we used in the It's a Mood palette called Creme, and I'm gonna blend that on the lower lash line. Okay, so now I'm going in with this very thin pencil brush. This is from ColourPop. It is their E10 brush. I'm gonna go back into the two green shadows that we used from the It's a Mood palette and from the in the Limelight palette, and I'm gonna place the darker one on the outer corner and just kind of connect that outer lash line, and then place the brighter green on the inner corner of the lower lash line. So now in the waterline, I'm going to go in with this ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in the shade called Teaspoon, and this is a very beautiful matte emerald shade. Then with this small little brush here, this is a ColourPop E29 brush. I'm going to go into this beautiful golden shade in the It's a Mood palette called Love Song, and I'm just going to place that on the inner corner of my eyes. I'm going to put on some mascara on the top and bottom lashes. I'm going to be using this L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara. So now I'm just going to pop on a pair of false lashes. I have this really beautiful pair that kind of goes like longer on the outer corner, and they're very beautiful and wispy, so I will link the specific pair that I'm wearing in the description box below, and then I will be right back. Okay guys, so that is the completed look. I hope you guys liked it. I always love myself a good green eye, and I think that this like matte smoky green eye would be so beautiful for like summertime. Just kind of gives me those like tropical vibes. But even in like the fall time, I just love green. So I love the way that the green and that like rich like peachy hue kind of like come together, and it's all matte and it's just like smoky, and I just love this eyeshadow look. So I hope you guys like this tutorial. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!